In this episode, we are going to see who are the winners and whiners of the recent election. Or put it in another way, who are the winners and losers in the recent by-elections. But before we go to that, we have to say that the recent by-elections of November 27th, 2025 is the nearest example anybody can give to the elections of 1966. Actually, some people even nicknamed the 1966 by-elections as little general election. In many democracies, including Kenya, you can be elected on a certain party, and then before you complete your term, you change your party. You change your party. All you need to do is that in most cases, your party is in the opposition, although it is on paper possible for you to do it if you're on the government side. So all what you needed to do is that you wait when the speaker is when the parliament is in session. You stay on your side, then go reach the mess and the speaker, bow down, go to the other side and sit. Then from that day henceforth, you will cease being the MP for the party that elected you. You will now be an MP for the other party. That is what happens in democracies, and that is what happened in Kenya. So in 1966, the then vice president, or could I say the then deputy head of state, Jaramogi Oginga, left the ruling party KANU and started his own, which was called KPU, Kenya People's Union. And he defected with several MPs. Now, if you follow that, that system is still there worldwide, but it is not there in Kenya. I don't know how many, I think it was 12 MPs. By saying 12, that is a lot because today we have how many MPs? But in those days when they had 100 MPs or something, defecting with 12 is like defecting with an eighth of the MPs. Now you understand. So, when he defected, the government quickly moved in. The government quickly moved in and said that the electorate voted for you when you are campaigning for KANU principles. Now that you have come up with the KPU principles, you are supposed to resign, go back and seek for permission from your people. Then Jaramogi with his people, with his MPs, went and asked for permission to campaign now on KPU. All MPs from Luo Nyanza who went back and campaigned to be re-elected on KPU were re-elected. But outside Luo Nyanza, places like Kandara Moranga, Bildad Kagia was not elected. Actually, Jomo Kenyatta went and campaigned against him. So for Kenyans, if you are sure that you are hearing it for the first time, please note there is a till number somewhere there. 411 3466. If you are hearing it for the first time, that is the genesis. First, before I start the topic of today's topic, I also wanted to use this opportunity to. I've talked about it in other episodes, but I want to use it in this position. You know that in Kenya, you cannot be an MP, you cannot contest for the president unless you have 35 years and over. This one, what I've just said, that if you are to be on the other side, you have to go back for election. Now, after dealing with Jaramogi Oginga in 1966, the next threat was Tom Mboya. By then, Tom Mboya had not reached 35 years. Jomo Kenyatta had medical problems. Every now and then you could hear, I mean, you could not hear, but those close to him were aware that he was slipping into and out of coma. So they knew he would die anytime. So they placed there the 35 years thing, so that should Jomo Kenyatta die, then Tom Mboya would be disqualified on age grounds. People say, but Tom Mboya died when he was 39. Yes, Tom Mboya was 35 years when he engineered the rule that, actually is the one who engineered for the rule that if you have to cross over, you have to seek for permission. And then they placed there a 35-year thing. And then he surpassed the 35-year thing. When he surpassed the 35-year thing, they wanted to put it at 40. But they felt that doing so, fighting a Luo, Jaramogi, in 1 year, and then the next year fighting another Luo, Tom Mboya, would be costly. So they were waiting, and they wanted, when Tom Mboya was 40 years, they wanted to place the cap at 45 years. They wanted to change it for, and that is why Tom Mboya organized for somebody to kill Jomo Kenyatta before the law came. And that person turned over, went to Kenyatta, and he was rehired at a higher price. And the idea of changing the age, the lower age to 45, died with Tom Mboya. Nobody has ever thought about it. So today you know why. Just before I start talking of who won and who lost in these by-elections, you have known how the rule of crossing over, you have to seek for a mandate from your people. You have also known how the 35 years came. And lastly, the 3 points, the third and last point is that you have known that this one is now comparable to 1966 election. The former vice president, the former deputy president, wanted to compete with the president. That is, Jaramogi wanted to compete with Jomo Kenyatta. Gachagua wanted to compete with Ruto. You can see that. That is the. So we want to talk about who won and who lost. And in fact, some of these people who have lost, they say you have lost the battle, but you'll win the war. Something like that. Me, I'm not good in English bwana. Nitakwambia mambo ya historia kwanza kucorrect mi kizungu. After all, Malkiat Singh, the famous, was my teacher in technical school. Now let us go to the winners and losers. The greatest loser is Moses Masika Ohwa Wetangula. He is the greatest loser in the Little General election. Losing your own village MCA. Perhaps you should reconsider being the head of a political party during your tenure as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Your roommate in the university, Justin Binda Muturi, when he was the Speaker, I think he suspended his membership of a Democratic Party until after he left the speakership. So I think you should reconsider being the head of a political party during your tenure as the Speaker of the National Assembly. As for Natembeya, his loss may have been a short term, but in the long term, he could win. If I have to, my own opinion is that Wetangula, Masika Ohwa Wetangula, together with Musalia Mudavadi, were the ones who had the bragging rights of being Luya Kingpin. But right now, I believe that Musalia has the single bragging right of Luya Kingpin, and Natembeya has really gained at the expenses of both Wetangula and Eugene. And if he's not yet number 2, then he's somewhere near number 2. So Natembeya may have lost in the short term, but in the long term, he may win. Remember, I want to remind you something, that William Ruto is still gaining, even today, he's still gaining politically from the springboard that he had in the 2010 Constitution of Kenya. Yes, a lot of people say that he was on the losing side. His side lost. There are even times that people say that why should he be the president when he opposed the very same Constitution of Kenya in 2010? Ruto was never against the Constitution of Kenya 20. He was using it as a springboard to nationhood. If Ruto would have been in the yes team in 2010, he would have been in the crowd, and I'm very sure today Ruto may not have been the president. He gained a lot of national fame there. He also used that as a test drive to know how you can organize a nationwide campaign strategy. He also used the Uhuru 2013 and 2017 as an advanced level, A levels certificate for his, and that is why he broke the record of trying to be the president for the first time and winning it. So don't underrate. I'm not in the political side with Natembeya, but don't underrate Natembeya. Natembeya may come out to be a future Ruto. Who knows? He may even be the president 2032. Musalia can easily brag that he's the Mulembe kingpin. I would advise William Samoei Ruto's think tank to now ban the midnight oil. I would advise Ruto's think tank to ban the midnight lamp. Orengo recently said severally that Ruto requires ODM more than ODM requires Ruto. I think that thing should go to Ruto and his think tank. Ruto and his, wasiangalie tu ati Orengo amekunywa mawiski amelewa. No, I would expect the William Samuel Ruto camp to really go out for ODM. And it should go for ODM on 2 grounds. One, the first one, it should fight for ODM to be united. Since ODM was formed, today is the time, it is at its weakest point. If you are not careful, ODM may break up into camps, ODMs, just like Ford did, and even the original ODM, which was ODM Kenya and ODM. So today, if you are not careful, ODM can break up into 2 or more parts. So Ruto's first aim is to make the ODM be united, or have as much as 80% or more of ODM be united. So first of all, he should fight for unity within ODM. And second, and equally important, is the united ODM should be under him. Remember, Orengo said it is Ruto who requires ODM more than ODM requires Ruto. And if you remember very well, ODM is more spread than any other. Look at even this current election. You'll find that ODM won in Coast and ODM won. ODM is generally the party that is, apart from being the second longest, is it not the second longest? DP is longer than that, but you see, it has overshadowed that. But anyway, ODM is one of the biggest parties, but ODM is over 90%, accepted in Luo Nyanza, but in other places, it covers over 90% of the geographical region of Kenya. We can only say that maybe Mrima is the only place where ODM has no bragging right. So, I would expect Ruto's think tank to work overdrive. Now, let me come to my Mufiala. Let me come to my Mufiala from Madera West. My Mufiala from Madera East. Kuzo. Kuzo. You lost and your coalition lost. Muti ya Madera Mage Dhomo. Yeah, hapo Kayaba. You every day you pass Kayaba. That's where my mother is buried. Now, as I'm talking to you as somebody from Kayaba, I would tell you that you lost and your coalition lost. My law teacher, my law lecturer, but in the proper word we can say my law instructor, the late Nyaseda, used to tell us that when you are working in a place where it is known that we have crooks, please don't carry a club. Don't carry a club. Just walk without anything. Why did he tell us not to carry clubs, rungus? You can get somebody on the road ambaye is stronger than you. Atakunyang'anya hiyo rungu na akutandike na hiyo rungu. So, you came up with a rungu, Mufiala, you came up with a rungu, and your rungu is this. You came up with a philosophy of what have you brought on the table? What have you brought on the table? Now, your juniors may use it against you. When you go, your juniors in the party, DCP, and also people from other parties. Kalonzo Musyoka swept everywhere, Ukambani and whatever. Now they'll turn to you and say, what have you brought on the table? Malala may say, okay, I brought in Kisa East. Masindet will say, let me, my Mufiala Kuzo, my Kuzo is new to politics. These people will face you eyeball to eyeball and tell you, are you not the one who said we'll sit down and say what has brought? It is possible that in the 2027 elections, the whole of Murima will vote for DCP. Or most of the Murima will vote for this. But when they are deciding the flag bearer for 2027, it is the situation like this small general election that people will refer. Say, didn't we have a little general election? What did you bring to the table? And what did you bring to the table? You are the one who brought in that philosophy. Remember, Mr. Nyaseda used to tell my cadet class that you walk around with a rungu, the rungu will be hit by you. You are the one who said that at the appropriate time we'll tell people, now what have you brought to the table? What I know about Kuzo, what I know about my Kuzo, is that he's somebody who loves something called imperial president. He has never been the president, but should he become the president, he would really love to be an imperial president. But the way this little general election has done to you, Mufiala, is that it has led you into, should they settle for you, most likely you will not end up as an imperial president, but you will be a ceremonial president. You may, if you will become the president in 2027 or any other time, if the conditions don't change, you may end up as the Somali president. Because Somali, they have the federal president and they have the provincial presidents. And the provincial presidents are equal in power like the national president. Another loser is Justin Bundi Muturi. Before these by-elections, his Democratic Party had one member of parliament. Now he has no MP. These elections have really lowered him. But I can say one of the greatest winners, people who are laughing all the way to the bank, and not just the central bank but to the World Bank, is Edgar Busieka Mwanga. As we speak now, he's the first member of the 2027 to 2032 National Assembly. He's already there. He was nominated. He was already promised to step down so that he is the first person on the list. With my cousin calling the shots in places like Kirinyaga and some parts of Moranga, DCP must have at least, hata kama ni kidogo, 2 MPs or even one. If it has one, Edgar Busieka is already an MP. Nominated lists are usually sent to IEBC before the campaign start. So Rigathi would lose more if the list is altered in any way. If the list is altered in any way, this system of a list of nominated is that any political party with which is contesting parliamentary seats are usually asked to give a number of people for nominated MP. And this is how it goes. There are 12 nominated MPs, yeah. Even parties that are known to have no effect very far, like Maendeleo Chap Chap. Since it is a parliamentary, a parliamentary political party, they are told to, all of them, they are told to give 12 names, because it is possible. They say impossible things happen. It is possible that you may win all the MPs in Kenya. So you get the 12. All of the parties. So that when the general elections are held, then it is looked at the parties. How many percent did your party get? How many percent did your party get? Now you get the percentage, like supposing your political party, like ODM, gets 30%. Let's say it gets 33% of all MPs in Kenya. Then it means that it is supposed to get a third of the nominated MP. So IEBC will go and check on the first third of the list. That is, a third of 12 is 4. So it will take out the 4. And if anything happens to the nominated MP, resignation, dies or anything, or gets a treatment like Roba, is the girl called Roba, where she was removed by her party, the party cannot give another name. You are given 3 or 4 names, and then one of them dies or anything, you go to the next line, the next person online. So the only thing that can stop Edgar Busieka Mwanga from becoming a nominated MP is that if DCP gets less than 1/12, if it gets less than 1/12 of the national tally, then it means that he doesn't become a nominated MP. So, ladies and gentlemen, my humble viewers, thank you for your feedbacks. You may have seen that most of the comments you make have always uh, established what I was going to go and shoot later. And I also thank those. Nowadays, you are doing good. People are thinking that sending 50 shillings is too little. But you find that the 50, like the other time, how many sent 50? There were 100 people. So you can see how sending small money big. Hapana angoja ati sijui ifike 100 ama 200. Just send the price of a soda and I'll be grateful. And kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba, and I'm grateful to all my viewers. Continue watching and continue enjoying. Amen.